What's up, everybody? We're back again. A2D Radio. This is Vetted with Irving Fryar and Hollis Thomas. Big dog. We got a great show for you today. But before we get into the show, Big Dog's got to read. Go ahead and do your thing, baby.
You know it is Hollis Thomas here with Philly Sports Trips. And, the Eagles schedule is out. So if you're anything like myself, you're going to look down the list and pick out a game that you could attend, one of the away games that you could attend. And you know what? Leave all the work, worry, and bother to us at phillysportstrips.com. We stay at the best hotels. We have the best, the most awesomest food that money can buy. And it's also delicious, too, because sometimes people say awesome food and, blah, blah, blah. But we also have drinks and and our tailgates are the bomb. And you get to party with people like myself and possibly some other Eagles legends and Eagles fans as well. And you can also get our apparel, my damn Skippy t-shirt from phillysportshirts.com. They have a partnership going on right now, phillysportstrips.com and phillysportshirts.com. And you can tell them that you heard it here on A2D Radio and tell them that the tank sent you.
Tell them that the tank sent you. All right. Damn Skippy.
Damn Skippy.
Listen, man, I'm excited, man. I'm excited because it's been a long wait. It's been depressing at times, particularly right after the Super Bowl, but we got, next week training camp starts. So we can smell football, bro. I can smell football.
I had a conversation one time with a friend of mine, and we were talking about what's going on right now. And I've always called it, even since I was a little kid, where it was called sports purgatory. As much as I love
there are other sports that are being played right now.
Yeah, but the best. Okay, so let's picture this. It's September, actually October. Everybody's playing. You got football, baseball, basketball. Everything is being played. Right now, you're at a point where normally people are go on their vacations and stuff and do the little summer stuff, and you don't have a problem yanking dad away from the TV. But some of us who enjoy the sports and are not getting yanked away from the TV, we're in sports purgatory because there's nothing spectacular on. What about
the Phillies, man? The Phillies are lighting it up right now.
But they just lost 4-0 today. So
but still, they're still. It's been exciting the last couple of months, man. It's been real exciting.
It's been exciting, but you're missing the point. Well, it's not football.
It's football. It's not sports purgatory. It's football purgatory.
I feel like it's sports purgatory because you don't have anything to do with your Sunday. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do on Sunday? What are you gonna do Sunday?
Go to church.
Yeah, but so after church, you don't got to rush home no more.
You got to rush home. You go to church.
Yeah, but you don't have to. I do enjoy eating, but you don't have to rush home. It's kind of like when my grandma used to send us to church when I was a kid. As a kid, we used to watch wrestling at the Chase on Sunday in St. Louis. And so I knew that once I left church, I was going home to watch wrestling at the Chase. But then football season would come around. This is before, as a kid, you don't realize how these seasons change and how they mold your life until you're old enough. You're like,
you start caring about till you start caring about football. It was roller derby for us when I was a kid. We watched roller derby. You remember roller derby? Yeah, man. I used to love watching roller derby. That thing was the bomb.
Well, see, I know your grandma probably did you the same way. When you spent the night over her house during the summer and you try to turn the channel which you thought she was asleep. It's like, turn it back on my story. But she was asleep. I was listening to it. Oh, man.
My grandmother lived right across the street, so I saw her all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. Listen, y'all come on in the room. Good to see some of you. JD Stroh, what's going on? Island Smoothies. That's Vinny Capriati.
Yes.
Listen, our A2D statement today is that Nick Sirianni is a real deal NFL coach. Nick Sirianni is a real deal NFL coach. Do you agree or do you disagree? I'm on the fence. I'm on the fence. I think.
You on the fence? Tell me why you're on the fence.
I'm getting ready to tell you.
I agree. Go ahead.
I'm getting ready to tell you. There are some things that he obviously has done extremely well. Got all the way to the Super Bowl last year. I really admire, when he came in and there were, some of the interviews and the plants growing and stuff like that. People really didn't understand him and didn't get him. But what he's been able to do with this team has been, I think, in his first 3 years has been phenomenal. But I'm yet to see him, and this has to do with the schedule. We were talking about this earlier, Tank, that I want to see what he does this year with all of these teams that are playoff teams that they got to play, some of them back to back, and this traveling they got to do. Yeah. This is a tough schedule. It's going to be a tough season for them. And any adjustments he has to make as a coach with regards to injuries or anything like that happens. I think he's a good coach. Is he a great coach? That's yet to be seen. That's just like Jalen Hurts. He's a good, really good quarterback. Is he a great quarterback? Well, he hasn't played long enough yet. He hasn't played enough years to be deemed as a great quarterback. Right. I think the players, he does a great job of identifying with his players and getting the players to buy in to what it is he's trying to sell them. Been to the Super Bowl. Recognize the fact that he does better as being the CEO and not calling the plays. So he turned that over to Shane Steichen last year. He delegated. That was absolutely marvelous and wise on his part. I think that really helped the team and helped him to be able to watch the game and manage the game and then give his input where he needed to give his input in terms of what was going on offensively. So he's smart. He's got a very high football IQ. He's got a way of reaching these young cats that are coming out of college and playing in the league right now. But he hasn't had too much controversy. Right. Let's see how he deals with some tough times. He haven't really had any tough times yet. Let's see. Is he a good coach? Yes. Do I like him? Yes. I think he's doing a phenomenal job. But he'll rise to the top level, to one of the top coaches in the league if he's able to get through this season and get through this season with a successful record, obviously, and get this team, because they have a window the next 2-4 years, if they can maintain a lot of these guys, they can get to the Super Bowl a couple of times. Let's see what he does with this season.
Yeah. Now, me personally, I think he's a real deal, mainly because I watched him as he came in and he matured as a coach. He was trying. If you go back to when they first started, he was trying to find an identity. Right. And then he started. Once he found that identity, he's not. To me, he's not one of those stubborn coaches that's going to try his way of doing things. He's like, we have a great offensive line. Let's get behind it and let's run the ball. We have some smart running backs. So to me, him doing that and coming to grips with that, because every offense coordinator wants to pass. Everybody wants to pass the ball. But a lot of people don't realize, everybody thinks that I always want to just run the ball. No, you run to pass. But people some people don't understand that. And I think he's grasped that. The part that I loved last year was him having the ability to humble himself and turn the calling duties of the offense over. I was like, once you're able to do that, I was like, man, the sky is the limit. And the way he presents things, and the other part where I think that I think he's a really extremely good coach, and I think he's going to become great with consistent winning. The other part is he doesn't have that, and this is where I feel like Andy gets in trouble a lot, and some of the other guys, but you want too much power. When you can't say it's us against them and you part of them. That's the one thing, and I'm happy that they asked for his input on players and stuff, and he's just making players work. And he's actually, the best thing that I heard him say in the interview is like, we're gonna when we get players, we're gonna cater to what they do best. You're not gonna try to make them fit into stuff. So that's why you'll see sometimes where a guy's featured, but it's because something that he does best, the opposing team is weak at, and that's what coaches do. It's like you don't try to fit somebody in somewhere where they don't belong. It's like you build something around them, and you coach them to the best of their ability to get the best out of them. And I think that's what he's doing. And it really, you know what? When I knew he was going to be a good coach, or a great coach, is when he said, "It's always him when can't get right, done something in a game." And as a coach, you already knew who it was. They didn't even have to tell you.
Can't get right. But you know what? It's always, I mean, at least for a lot of teams, even now, for a lot of teams, that culture or that mentality is us against them, exists. And you're not going to have consistent success when it's that kind of mentality, when you have that kind of culture that's been developed for whatever reason your organization. But they've been able to overcome that and develop a culture where everybody is on the same page, and they feel as though everybody's on the same page, because everybody can be on the same page, and some guys can feel for whatever reason like they're not on the same page. So they've developed that culture, and that's why I think they're having a lot of success. One of the reasons, yes.
Well, yeah, because I feel like Howie noticed what was happening when he wasn't in charge. And then he started coming around, and he really got it once he came out of football purgatory when he
got benched. He got benched,
and he came back. He started treating the guys a lot better, and it's like he's down there and he's visible, and it's just like a whole new atmosphere. And you just kind of felt like we was gonna win one. I was like, but with Nick is like, you can have the us against them mentality, but if you part of them. And it's not them. It's the front office. They want you to win. I said, but it's gonna be some times that they're gonna say some stuff or have some stuff or just be trying to get out the way or just be trying to save their own ass. Where we got to do the same. We got to worry about what's in here. We have to worry about what's in here. But you can't say we if your foot is up there and down there.
Right. But when I was with Philly, Tom Modrak was the general manager, GM.
Yep.
That was the mentality. It was us against them. And it wasn't just the players feeling that way.
It was the coaches.
Conversations that we've had with coaches.
Yep.
They felt that way. They expressed that it was, listen, I can give you a perfect example, and Ray Bob would not be mad at this. This is my last year in Philly when we were terrible. You remember that year, don't you?
Yeah, you had Dana Bible calling your plays.
Dana Bible calling plays. I broke my toe. Well, Bobby Horning's doing terrible. He's absolutely, but it wasn't Bobby's fault necessarily. It was the lack of knowledge and the lack of coaching ability by way of Dana Bible. He just messed Bobby up. He did, because Bobby was playing a little bit the year before, and Gruden was here, and Gruden had Bobby playing phenomenal. Bobby was doing a great job. That's why he was like, he's going to start the next year and do a great job. We're going to take off, and we're going to do, have a good season.
Yep.
So Dana Bible comes in, and we're about maybe 5 or 6, 7 games into the season, not halfway yet, but Bobby's struggling. He's struggling. We're in the middle of a game. We're at home. I'll never forget this. I go up to Ray Bob during the game on the sidelines. I said, you got to take him out. I said, he's killing us. You have to take him out. And Ray Bob said, they won't let me. I said, I can't take him out. They won't let me. We're going to we got a commercial. We'll come back to that. We got a commercial. I saw the commercial flash up. Go ahead. Take it away, Ralph.
Hey, Birds fans, the NFL schedule has arrived and Philly Sports Trips has all the details now. Visit the site phillysportstrips.com. This is sure to be an epic season. Be sure to go there now to make sure that you don't get shut out. Join us in Tampa, LA, Seattle, or when we get revenge in Kansas City. Don't want to fly? No problem. Gather up your crew and hop aboard one of our signature boisterous bus trips to DC or New York. Sign up now and make sure to mention A2D. Don't miss out on the best Philly fan experience anywhere. Philly Sports Trip customers always stay at the best hotels and meet NFL legends. Book today.
All right. And you know what? I played, New England was like that. When I was down in Washington, it was kind of like that same mentality, us against them. I was down in Miami. It wasn't like that. We were able to play freely and feel free to play and feel like we were appreciated, but not because the owners said anything or did anything to make us feel like we were all on the same page. They just never paid. They never showed up. They were never around. We didn't know who they were. They just didn't show up. So it was us. So it wasn't us versus them or us against them. It was just us.
The funniest thing, and I don't know if Ray Bob told you, that he said they hired Dana Bible while he was on vacation.
While Ray Bob was on vacation, they did not even ask Ray Bob. They didn't consult with him. And that was I mean, I don't know what Modrak and Lurie were doing, but how could a guy come in? I'm sure he had to interview for the job as the offensive coordinator. How could a guy come in who he really had no knowledge of football at that level? How could he come in? How could they hire him and him come in and he was fired. People didn't know it. He was fired halfway through the season.
Yep.
Ray Bob demoted him from calling the plays and put him in the back of the room. And now he was spotting the ball during practices.
Bill Musgrave.
And Bill Musgrave, you remember that? No, you weren't in there. I remember Bill when we came in on a Wednesday to put in the game plan, and they had just demoted. We didn't know about it, but over the weekend, over that Monday and Tuesday, they demoted, or Ray Bob demoted Dana Bible. So we come in on Wednesday. Now it's the team meeting, offensive team meeting, and they're doing the installation of the plays for this week. Now Musgrave's up in the front of the room, and I'm looking. I'm like, okay, what is going on? And Musgrave turned out to be a good offensive coordinator.
But do you know why I always remember Bill Musgrave? Because about 2 or 3 weeks into him having the job, he was trying to put me in the backfield on goal line to block.
trying to make you like the refrigerator.
dude, I see what I be doing to people on goal line.
You're trying to make you like the refrigerator, man.
I did not want to do that.
You should have did it. You'd have been the tank. Would have had the refrigerator and then the tank. We'd have had the tank. You'd have scored some points, man.
I stick to choking people out.
You should have ran the ball, man. I'm sure you could have done it. So Musgrave's in front of the group, in front of the offensive squad, and he starts the installation of the plays. And man, he's stuttering and he's stammering and he's just stumbling all over the place. He can't get his words out, can't speak clearly. And then he stopped, and he was almost like teared up. And he said, "Guys, listen, I'm sorry. I've never done this before."
But you know, he had just come off of being the backup quarterback.
Yeah, he was the backup. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, he was the backup quarterback coach.
Yeah.
He said, "I've never done this before, and now I'm doing this. I'm going to be calling the plays. I'm the offensive coordinator now." I'm sitting in the back of the room, and I'm saying to myself, "Man, we just went from bad to worse.
Oh, God.
We just got real bad. It's getting ready." And that's when I really started, doing things that were out of character for me in terms of being on the field. I dropped a couple of balls, trying to do too much, trying too hard, because we were bad that year, man. And it just snowballed. Everybody got fired.
Yeah. Now, the show is supposed to be about we're going to be talking about the NFC East.
Yeah, but people like to hear this kind of stuff.
I know. But
Yeah,
I wanted to.
You got some stuff you want to say? Go ahead.
Go ahead.
We're going to talk about the NFC East and the other teams: the Dallas Cowboys, the Washington Commanders, and the Giants, New York Giants. We're going to talk about their schedules, and we're going to try to get through this and just kind of pick the wins and losses without getting too deep into why we feel they're going to win or lose those games, and then predict who's going to be second, third, and fourth in the NFC East.
What up, Brian? But I wanted to go over the turmoil.
Okay, yep. Go ahead. You can start with the turmoil.
Okay, so basically, this is what's going on. I'm giving everybody's. It's not so much turmoil; it's what each team has to deal with. So this year, I'm gonna start off with us. Right, we're gonna have to get 11 sacks from somewhere because we lost Hargrave. But we
got a guy named Carter.
Yeah, but also Milton is going to have more. Milton Williams is going to and guard.
Let me ask you about Milton, because he didn't play a whole lot last year, or when he did play, you didn't hear his name a whole lot. Let me say it that way.
No, he did. He showed up. He
showed up. You heard his name, but you didn't. No. He wasn't the Sweat. He wasn't the Hassan Reddick. He wasn't that. He wasn't Brandon Graham. He didn't have big numbers. He didn't make a lot of noise. He did his job and didn't make mistakes, so to speak. Right. But you think that he can be that guy to fill in for Hargrave?
I think with a nice rotation, the kid he'll be fine because he knows what to do. He does it fast, and he doesn't really make mistakes. And you want that type of guy who can play end and tackle out there. And I think this year this may be his bust out year because they're gonna ask him to do a lot. And the thing that I love about him, and I feel like he's ready now. It's like they've had some training wheels on him, and they even brought other guys in, but he still had a better season last year than Jordan Davis. He didn't get hurt, and
Jordan Davis didn't do anything last year.
Exactly,
he didn't do nothing.
Yeah,
but matter of fact, Jordan Davis had and I know we got to get into the what you're going to talk about. But Jordan Davis to me was disappointing, almost to the point that he was a wasted draft choice.
Yeah, almost. Yeah, almost.
You know, I mean, this year will determine that. But it was almost to the point that it was a wasted draft choice.
Yeah. So also we replaced the offensive defense coordinator, and both of our safeties and the guard. But those things we have guys in waiting and stuff, and those things are replaceable. Now let's go to the Cowboys.
Right, but that's not turmoil. Those are things that happen every year. We're going to deal with more of that next year. We're going to deal with, you know, particularly if we do well. When the Eagles do well, coaches are going to get hired on other teams and become head coaches. Players are going to go get big contracts. So that's kind of stuff we're going to deal with year in, year out.
Yes. And then we go to the Cowgirls, who are currently dealing with a few disgruntled players who are probably actually all pro players, and Zach Martin, who was not happy with his contract. So he's talking about not showing up to camp. He's a star offensive lineman. Then Trayvon Diggs, who was not happy with the negotiations going on with his contract. And then we got the running back, Tony Pollard, who's coming off of a bad ankle break. And they franchised him, and he was unhappy with the negotiations. And then the effervescent Dak Prescott talking about I'm not gonna throw 10 picks this year.
He's gonna throw 15 again.
It's like you can't come out and say anything like that. It's like your word should be, I'm going to try to do better.
His words should be what he does on the field. Let your play be your articulation. Let what you do on the field speak for you. He shouldn't say anything. And you would think that Dak wouldn't do something like that because he's been in the league for a little while now and he knows better.
You would think he knows better.
You would think, and maybe because he keeps looking at his commercial and he sees, you know, himself throwing interceptions even in his commercial, so he's having dreams about it. That is brutal. but yeah, you don't say anything like that. Yeah. Obviously, there's something going on in his head about the way he's been playing. And then I told you he thinks he's better than he is. That's why he throws those interceptions.
Yeah, and I think he has too much confidence in his arm strength.
That's what I'm saying. He thinks he's better than he is. He's not that good. To me, Dak is not that good. He's a game manager. Yeah. But when he tries to overdo it, he can't take over a game like Jalen Hurts can.
Right.
He can't do what Jalen does. Right. And he tries to do that. He thinks he's that good and he tries to do too much and ends up hurting the team as well as hurting himself.
Now the other part of Cowgirl Nation was McCarthy's starting to call the offensive plays.
That's a joke.
Yeah, it's a serious joke too, because as we saw when our head coach was calling the plays, you're not there to make all the decisions that a head coach needs to make, and your head's not truly in the game. Right. It's like because you want to win. It's like, but you have to have enough trust in somebody to make the calls and to run the game properly, and you're gonna be all embodied in the offense and not know what's going on defense or in the game. So that they have a bit of turmoil going on down there.
Well, I think, you know, when McVay did it a couple of years ago, you know, everybody was impressed with that. He was the model of the new coaches to come. But I think it's really tough. You know, like I said, when I was coaching, you were coaching with me in high school, you know, trying to call the plays and manage the game. And high school is nowhere near at the level of a professional game.
You want to time out here, Irv?
Yeah.
You're supposed to be watching the game, man.
I needed help. I did. I needed help to help me to manage the game. Or you need to call timeout. But so yeah, and the issue is that he did call the plays when he was coaching with Aaron Rodgers, but Dak Prescott is not Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
He's not. It's a whole different animal.
You have to build the rapport. That's what I was saying, because a lot of people think it's like, oh, it's gonna be better. I was like, he hasn't built that rapport that he had with Aaron Rodgers. So I don't know how he's gonna call the game in that sense. Now all
right, let's do this. Let's do this while we're with the Cowboys. Let's go through the schedule. Okay. I'll let's give you a pick. That's all. So they start out with. Oh gosh, that's October. Okay. Is their first game in September? Okay, man. No, their first game can't be September 24th. That's not possible. Is it really?
I don't know. I just work here.
I'm looking.
Let me break up the schedule here.
I'm looking at the schedule. I don't see a game for them until the 24th of September. Is that right?
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm looking online, and it says the first game is September 24th at Arizona. Is that correct?
It may be.
Wow. Okay. The season opens the week before that.
Yeah.
So, all right, they got Arizona.
Well, now they got at New York first on September the 10th.
Okay, where's that at? I don't see that on my
week one.
Is a bad website.
On week one, I got ESPN website up.
Okay, I got Game Day website up. Okay, what's the first game?
It says Dallas at New York on September the 10th.
That's 10th. Okay, and what's the second game? DC.
Hold on a second. Hey, let me get the whole of week one. Week two here. I'm gonna go to week two. That game is. Hold on, I gotta look for that because it's week two. New York Jets at Dallas.
Okay, so what's the first game? Let's go to the first game.
First game is September the 10th.
With who?
Versus the New York Giants.
They're at the Giants.
Yeah.
They'll win that game.
And then the Jets come to them on September the 17th. I would say on the Giants one, I feel like they're going to lose because
because of the turmoil.
Not because of the turmoil, because I think Brian Daboll will be trying to prove the fact that they could win without Saquon Barkley.
But they can't win without Saquon Barkley.
But I think they're gonna win this one, mainly because it's like I think he's got the Cowboys.
They can't win without Saquon Barkley.
Okay. Okay. I'm telling you what the defense. What they pay some guys on defense, and they got a quality tight end in, and who's most of the time hurt, but I feel like he's going to be there for this one.
Okay.
So the
second game against the Jets at Dallas.
Yeah, I got Dallas winning that one.
Yeah, they're at home.
But yeah, and I think it's going to take the Jets a few weeks to get it together. I agree. As much as I don't like the Cowboys, I feel like they're gonna try to put Aaron Rodgers on notice.
Yeah, and the Jets, they've got some talent. They got the Garrett, that rookie, first round draft choice. They got a really good running back too. But yeah, it's going to take them a couple of weeks to get it together. So that third week they're at Arizona.
Correct.
They're going to win that.
Yeah, pretty much because they got a new idiot at the helm, and everybody's trying to leave there.
Isn't that your favorite person in the whole world?
No, he really
Jonathan Gannon.
They got an idiot at the helm. Everybody's trying to leave. Been trying to leave since they got there.
They say they got an idiot head coach.
Yeah, he's an idiot.
Then New England is at Dallas.
I think New England is going to come in there and throttle them.
You think so?
Yeah, New England is quietly. They've been doing some stuff behind the scenes.
Right. And Belichick's been working on some stuff.
But the key is Bill O'Brien coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the real offensive coordinator.
Offensive coordinator, yeah.
Yeah, it's like you had Matt Patricia. I met with Matt Patricia, and
did you see him here?
Yeah, here.
Did you talk to him about New England?
Yeah, I said, what the hell was going on? He's like, dude, I'm a defensive coach. It's Matt Patricia is cool as hell. And he told us, you tell us the truth. He's like, they just said what you're doing. And I was like, yeah, what the hell? Wow. It's like, so it was like he did it. It's like he did it. He said he did it to the best of his ability, but he said, it wasn't enough. Right. So I think
Dallas winning that game too. Then they're at San Francisco.
I had New England winning that game.
Yeah. Oh, you had New England winning it? Oh, yeah, because I have Dallas winning. You have New England.
Yeah, because that's what I said. I feel like they got Bill O'Brien back, and he's going to right the ship offensively. You always know they always have a quality defense.
Right. So, it's Mac's second year with O'Brien. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
So then they're at San Francisco. I have Dallas losing that game.
They're at San Francisco?
At San Francisco.
Yeah, they actually
at San Francisco.
I'm gonna go with Dallas because right now San Francisco's in my car, and I think they're gonna.
They're in your what?
In my car, stuck in my car because because they even their kickers talking about they would have won if your quarterback had stayed healthy. If your offensive line protects your quarterback, we're not having this conversation.
Right. Yeah, that was the problem. The offensive line didn't protect the quarterback.
So, but I think they're gonna Dallas is going to go in there thinking that they're going to be the bee's knees, and they're going to get socked in the teeth.
Okay, so you're picking Dallas or San Francisco?
San Francisco.
Right, I picked San Francisco. Yeah, that's what I thought. Then they go back on Monday night, October 16th, to Los Angeles. They got to go across the country twice, back to back, to the Chargers. They'll beat the Chargers.
I don't know, but that's going to be interesting because it's going to be Kellen Moore as the Chargers offensive coordinator, and
if they're smart, they'll stay out there the whole week. If they're smart,
they're not smart. And speaking of being smart, it's time for my read.
Time for your read.
Yes, it is.
Do it, big dog.
Now, here we go. I am Hollis Thomas of Philly Sports Strip. The Eagles schedule is out, and if you're just like me, you look at the Eagles schedule and you look at all the away games, and you often say, which one of these do I want to go to? But if you want to leave all the rigmarole to us at phillysportstrips.com, you just go to our website and pick one of our illustrious trips where we stay in the finest hotels and we have the most ballinest ass grub known to man. We have tremendous tailgates, and you may catch myself or another Eagles legend at one of our tailgates. Also, we have the apparel, my apparel, my damn Skippy shirt, and also other Eagles apparel shirts on phillysportshirts.com. So go check out phillysportstrips.com and phillysportshirts.com and tell them that you heard it on A2D radio and tell them that the tank sent you. Back to you, Bill.
Back to Bill?
Hey.
Who's Bill?
Nobody. It's you know, you playing as a kid, you always
who the heck is Bill?
Back to you, Chuck.
I'm like, wait a minute, back Chuck. Okay. So I'm thinking they're gonna stay out in California for that whole week. That would just be smarter.
Oh yeah, and you know they have a facility out there that they go to and that they go to. So it's probably gonna be out there. So
right. They'll beat the Chargers, then they go to the Rams, and the Rams are going to beat them. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
You agree with that?
I could roll with that, but I think they're going to lose 3 in a row.
So you think they're going to lose to New England?
Yeah.
Then they're going to lose San Francisco, and then they're going to lose to the Chargers.
Yep, and they'll probably beat the Rams.
And they'll beat the Rams. Wow. Yeah. Okay. Because they get tired of losing?
No, it'll probably the Rams will probably be thinking of something else, and they'll beat them. You know,
I think the Rams are on the comeback this year. You know, they got embarrassed last year after winning the Super Bowl. They got embarrassed, and
I kind of don't think so. They got rid of Jalen Ramsey, and they've been dangling Aaron Donald out there for trade. So if you're trying to trade me, I'm not.
So you think they're trying to rebuild? You think there's trouble in paradise out there?
It's a little trouble in paradise.
Aaron Donald's getting a little bit old too, man. You know, he's a little older now.
Have you seen him play?
Oh, he can play. No, he can still play. But you know, they can trade him. You know, he's trade material now. While he can still play, they can get something for him.
He's still in his 20s though.
Late 20s.
Yeah, that don't mean he's still in his 20s though.
Mm-hmm. Late 20s.
He's still dominating.
He's still dominating.
Yeah.
And he's probably got about 3, maybe 4 more years where he's going to dominate like he's been dominating. Yeah. So then they come back and they're at Philly.
You kicking their ass. I'm sorry. You know what?
I believe this year, I believe we're winning that game at home. I believe we're going to sweep them this year. We're going to sweep Dallas this year.
And I think it's more so because it's going to be Dak versus Jalen. And I think this time,
hopefully, that's what we want. We haven't seen that yet in these last couple of years that Jalen's been, doing his thing. But that's what we want to see. So we can close the coffin on Dak and let everybody know here in Philly and everybody know down in Dallas that Jalen Hurts is the man and that he can beat Dak Prescott. Yeah. He's the one. He's the crowned king. Yeah. So then it's New York, the Giants at Dallas.
No, they'll beat the Giants in Dallas.
Yeah, they'll beat the Giants. I agree with that. Then they're at Carolina Panthers.
I think by that time Frank Reich will have them. Frank Reich and the Deuce will have them churning, and they'll be waiting on them to come down to Carolina.
I was gonna say Bryce Young, man, is exciting. You know?
But it's like he's got one of one of the quarterback whisperers. You got
Yeah.
Deuce out there. They
Yeah.
already had a decent defense, so
Yeah.
I think by the time they get to Carolina, that the Carolina's going to go throttle them. So
yeah, Carolina's going to sneak up on a few people this year,
right.
I believe. Yeah, people are going to underestimate them. I'm going to say, yeah, they're going to lose that game. Then they have Washington at home. They'll win that game.
At home?
Yeah, they're at home. Dallas at home.
Well, you know what?
Washington.
You know what? Dallas had a problem with Washington last year when they went to the new QB who's going to be the QB. So that's going to be an interesting game because they couldn't do nothing with that young kid, and that defense made Dak Prescott throw 2 or 3 picks.
Well, Washington, the QB's only played one game.
He played like the last few games.
How many games? It's
like 2 or 3, but he was drafted. See, this is what ended up why this is why Bieniemy came there.
Right, to develop him.
Well, no, but but Bieniemy worked him out, and that was one of the kids that he wanted to draft.
Okay,
to develop. So that Washington, I told you, Washington is going to be like one of the sneaky problems that people have. And
they have a good defense. They're going to give us some problems. We're going to have to play 4 quarters, all of the 4 quarters. To beat them if we're going to beat them twice, particularly. Yeah. So, I mean, they beat us last year.
Yeah, they
weren't even the team they're going to be this year.
Yeah, I know. And it's like you put a new offensive coordinator, and by this time they should be able to understand what Bieniemy is trying to do. And I feel like they're going to beat the Cowgirls because I think it's just like with the stuff that I already said, that turmoil alone. And then you have a new guy calling. He's not
could hinder them. Yeah.
It could hinder them all season long, and it could be one of those seasons where at the end they're licking their wounds and talk about what could have been.
Particularly if they get off to a bad start, which it looks like it's setting up for that to happen. They might be missing a couple of pieces.
Early in training camp, your star running back and your best offensive lineman and what you consider your best DB, they're disgruntled. I was like, I don't care what. It's like we could talk about all the time that they still gonna come to play, but if you're not fully vested and feel like everybody's with you, that play is gonna look like crap.
And Pollard coming back, I have a hard time believing or seeing him.
Injury,
and the type of injury it was or is broken ankle, and he did it late in the season. So
exactly, yes.
It hasn't even been a year. I've had injuries, man, less than that. And when it's something like that, you feel that thing for a whole year before. I don't care how strong it is and what kind of rehab you do, you still feel it. And it takes about a year before you can run and cut without being aware of it. Yeah. So I don't see Pollard being as effective particularly early in the season as he was last year during the season. Whether he's franchised or not, he's coming off a big injury. That's a serious injury. He's going to bounce back. I'm not saying he's not going to play. He'll come back and he'll be effective, but he won't, particularly at the beginning of the year or this season. I'll say he won't be as effective as he was last season before he got hurt. Then they play at Dallas. Geno Smith. No, that's not Geno.
Yeah, it is Geno. Yeah. Geno.
I see it. Yeah, that's right. I keep thinking Wisconsin's still there. Geno took over. Yeah.
Geno took over. He's in Denver now.
He's in Denver. Russell Wilson's in Denver. Yeah. Can Geno do it again?
Possibly. I think so.
You think so? I mean, when I saw the numbers he was putting up last year, I couldn't believe it was the same guy. I'm like, Geno Smith doing that?
He finally got it. That it kind of brings me to a bit of a crossroad. So I think that they'll beat Dallas at home. I mean, Washington at home, but I think they'll lose to Seattle. Yeah.
If Geno's playing like he did last year, man, he was chunking that ball, and he was chunking that ball on target. I mean, he was putting it right where it needed to be. But often.
But the thing that I felt like Geno he had matured on was like when one of the receivers was missing passes, and he went over to him and was like, "I'm gonna come back to you. I'm gonna come back to you." Like when you're the general of the team, you gotta let guys know that you got confidence in them because you're gonna need them throughout the game. I learned from some of So like you guys, all you guys I played with and played at receiver and DB, that you guys have to have the shortest memory known to man, because we got to come back to you and we're gonna need you.
Right.
It's like
right.
it's like for everybody to lose their cool and stuff in a crucial situation and start talking crap. I mean, it showed a lot of him basically, because he used to go to the far end of the spectrum and not be the leader that he turned out to be.
Well, you know why Geno extends that grace and forgiveness and redemption. Extends redemption for guys to be redeemed after they've maybe messed up or dropped the password, because he needed it.
Yeah,
it was extended. He didn't always play well.
No.
He was at one point. He was, people were kind of like really laughing at him and mocking him and scolding him. So he knows what it's like to be on that end.
But it was some stuff that he did off the field as well, with not showing up at your teammates. You said you're gonna be somewhere and you didn't show up.
Right.
And you told him you was gonna pay him back, but then you try to shun him and and he's not that type of guy, and he knocks you out and breaks your jaw.
So he knows what it's like to make a mistake and need the grace and the restoration get granted to him. So he's that way now. That's made him, I believe, the leader that he is.
Yeah,
and that's why he's risen to the top, at the top of his game, putting up big numbers and playing very well. So if Geno, I'm going to go with you. I think Seattle's going to beat them, because if Geno can keep that up, what he did last year, man, he was hot last year. I was very impressed. Very impressed.
The Bully Caliente. Are we going through their whole schedule? Or are we going to the Giants next?
We're trying to get through the whole one. I told you we weren't going to. Okay, we're going to go Giants next, but now they got Philly versus Philly and Dallas. We spanking them.
Yeah, we
spanking them. Then they're at Buffalo. They're going to lose that game.
Yeah, because that's kind of a far trip, and it's going to be cold up there.
Yep,
extremely cold.
And then December 24th, they're at Miami right after Buffalo. They're going to lose that one too.
Yeah, but man, they have a gauntlet of a schedule too. So
they're not
doing the NFC East any favors this year.
No, man, they got it tough. Then they got Detroit at home. They'll beat Detroit, and then they're at Washington the last game of the season.
At Washington, I think Washington win that at Washington.
Washington's going to sweep them this year.
No, I said take the Washington victory at Dallas at home off, and then the Seattle win.
Okay, all right. So let's go to the Giants. All right, this is the Giants schedule. You might have to look at the first two games, because mine. This thing.
Let's look at the first two games again.
Oh, September 10th. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, September 10th.
Well, you should know September 10th. They're playing against the Cowboys.
Dallas,
yeah, but you didn't.
I'm just saying I have it on my schedule now.
I know, but you didn't let me get the turmoil out of the way.
Oh, you have more turmoil?
Yeah, that turmoil is.
You got turmoil with the Giants, right?
Yeah, Saquon Barkley was talking about. It's like over 50% of the offense is talking about sitting out because he didn't know what he just didn't want to be that guy to say he's like he had to think about himself. He had to be selfish instead of selfless. And they say that's not his stilo, but they're forcing him to be that guy.
Well, yeah, they're not cooperating. They're not playing fair. So he's got to think about himself, because they're not thinking about him. We talked about this last week. What I was saying is Saquon is the kind of guy. I don't think he's the kind of guy that if and when they finally get things done, that he'll come in and play disgruntled. Now, he may play and get hurt because it's late, and that's what happens to guys who hold out or come into camp late or come into the season having not been in training camp. But I think, once things are done, if they get done, he'll be a upright kind of guy. We got another commercial.
Okay.
Go ahead, Ralph.
Hey, Birds fans, the NFL schedule has arrived and Philly Sports Trips has all the details now. Visit the site phillysportstrips.com. This is sure to be an epic season. Be sure to go there now to make sure that you don't get shut out. Join us in Tampa, LA, Seattle, or when we get revenge in Kansas City. Don't want to fly? No problem. Gather up your crew and hop aboard one of our signature boisterous bus trips to DC or New York. Sign up now and make sure to mention A2D A2D. Don't miss out on the best Philly fan experience anywhere. Philly Sports Trip customers always stay at the best hotels and meet NFL legends. Book today.
I forgot about the bus trips.
You forgot about the bus trips. Well, she mentioned it.
Yeah, those are the good times. The really
the bus
fun
trips.
times. Oh yeah,
Wow.
we took last year we took about 1,000 people, sold down to what is it, 1,000, and it was 1,500 total.
How many buses was that?
Well, it was 1,000 down. We took 20 buses down to say what's up to Carson.
To say what's up to Carson.
Yeah, it was a great time. I enjoyed myself thoroughly.
Wow.
It's one of them.
Sure Carson enjoyed that. Yeah.
Well, I think did they take him out like midway through the game or something?
He took himself out, man. That cat. He is a strict head case. Everybody always wonders or has their opinion, I should say, about what happened to him. The worst thing that could happen to any player happened to him, particularly a quarterback. You get hurt, your backup comes in and does the ultimate, reaches the ultimate goal, which is wins it all.
Oh God, and it's the MVP.
And got the MVP. Yeah, he won it all.
And a statue.
And a statue because of the Philly. And then watch this. He comes back and tries to not redeem himself, but comes back and tries to play to live up to win his own Super Bowl, live up to the hype, not the hype, but live up to the level of the accomplishments of his backup.
Right.
And once he didn't succeed right away, he started trying too hard. Then he kept making mistake after mistake. Then he started listening to the media, started listening to the fans, and his head got jacked up.
But
that's what happened to Carson, and his head's been jacked up since. He can't play anymore in the NFL.
He got jacked up because he was trying to play with the broken back because he did not want Nick Foles to come back.
Right.
In. And then once Nick Foles came back in and things seemed peachy keen, that was really bad for him.
Messed his head up.
I had a question about that part. How did it mess your head up when they signed you to a $180 million contract and they let Nick Foles walk? How does that mess your head up?
It messed his head up. You think all of a sudden he just lost his talent? He's early 20 years. He's 20 some years old.
I think
all of a sudden his talent left his body. All of a sudden he can't throw a football. All of a sudden he's no longer has the ability to play football. No, he's done great things. Even in the midst of his mess last year down in Washington, I saw him throw some great balls. He has spots and moments of greatness.
And this is the other thing too. And this is why the NFL is the NFL. The NFL is the NFL because once they have you on tape and they know what you like to do and what you can do and what you don't like to do, you have to. You played a long time because you were able to do everything. You were able to watch tape and see what they were trying to stop you from doing.
Mm-hmm.
I had to do the same thing because everybody was playing me for a bull rush, so I had to develop another move off the bull rush and let them know that I was slightly nimble and that I would run around you.
That's why we wanted to put you in the backfield so you could be the tank.
But he didn't do that. He just was relying on what happened early on. It's kind of like the kid Will Levis out of Kentucky. His first season, he transferred from Penn State.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody called him. He was a jerk, a jerk to all the people and the players and stuff. I didn't know the part about him being a jerk, but he went down to the SEC at Kentucky, lit him up.
Lit him up.
The SEC is a borderline NFL type league.
Right.
They got his ass on tape. The second year, everybody's making excuses about the people around him.
Mm-hmm.
No, you're on tape. That's what happens in the NFL. The eye in the sky don't lie.
That's right.
Once they have you on tape, it's just like the West Coast offense. Once they had no tape and everybody had to deal with it, they had to do some things. They had to do some things to make concessions for it to try to slow it down and stop it.
And they will. You know, defensive coordinators are pretty smart these days. It doesn't take them long.
And that's what happened to Carson. As they say.
But he still had a head problem, though, Cat. You know, this cat, he lost his confidence and, became paralyzed with regards to being able to play freely. You know, Big Dog, when you're playing ball, you can't be out there thinking. You can't be doing a whole lot of thinking. It's gotta be reaction. It's gotta be almost second nature because you've rehearsed it, because you've seen it, because you practice it, because you've done it over and over and over and over again. I very rarely remember having to think about anything on the field. What I saw, what I felt, what the quarterback said, it all happened second nature.
Right.
Because that's why you practice. That's why you practice. And he lost that. He lost that. He got in his own head for whatever reason, at whatever point it happened, he got in his own head and he just became ineffective.
And speaking of being effective, we need to go to Ralph for our last commercial thingamajig.
That was the last one he just did.
He did a video?
Yeah, that was he just did it. Yeah, what you looking at, man?
I was looking at the private chat. And
what you drinking over there, man? Yeah, we did the last one.
Okay.
So
we did mine. I think we did the lady. Oh, okay.
We got no more commercials. We got 9 minutes to get through the schedule.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. No, because I that's where I mentioned.
You said okay.
Okay, that's where I mentioned that I didn't mention the bus trips.
Right, that was the last commercial. You didn't mention the bus trips, right?
That's how we got on Carson.
Yes,
sir. Apologies, people.
You good, man. People love this stuff, man. We love it. So we talked about Dallas. You know, the Giants playing Dallas first game.
Right.
They play the Cardinals at Arizona, the second game. It's the Giants.
I think they're gonna win that one because they got a new coaching staff down in Arizona. And
everybody's gonna beat the Cardinals. Listen, the Cardinals. They were bad last year.
Right.
You think they were bad last year? Wait till you see them this year. They're going to be worse this year than they were last year.
Yeah, and Buda Baker is still trying to get the hell away from there.
Yeah, because they're going to be worse this year than they were last year.
Yeah,
the only people that go see the Cardinals games are the visiting team's fans. Those are the only people that go see the Cardinals games.
Yeah, they are.
You can walk into the Cardinals stadium on game day and buy a ticket.
Wow, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, they're not sold out. They don't sell out. So then they a Thursday night game they have against San Francisco. After the Arizona game, they go back out that way on the West Coast to San Francisco. They're at San Francisco, the Giants.
They'll lose that one.
Is that the Giants? Yeah, it's the Giants.
Is the Giants at San Francisco?
Yeah. Yep.
I think they'll probably lose that one.
I think they'll lose that one too. Then they play Seattle on a Monday night. They have a Thursday night game, then a Monday night game. Play Seattle at home.
I can see them winning that one. Just because of Seattle having to come all the way across the globe.
Yeah, it's always tough to do that. And I'm looking at their next game. So they're going to lose to San Francisco at San Francisco. They're going to beat Seattle at home, and then they have to go to Miami. They're going to lose that game.
Big time.
All right, good. Then after they go to Miami, they got to come back home, then go to Buffalo.
That's an ass kicking waiting to happen.
Yeah, at Buffalo. Yep. It's tough up in Buffalo, man. I played there a lot of times.
But Brian Daboll came from Buffalo, so
right.
It's just gonna be personal for him. So that's gonna be one of those games you be like, okay, push.
But Buffalo is, I think, Buffalo's going to shock a lot of people. I mean, they were good last year, but I think they're going to really
take a step backwards.
No, not step backwards. I think they're going to put their foot in some people's behinds this year.
Because everybody's talking about the Jets and the Dolphins. I don't know how they're talking about the Dolphins when the quarterback that they're speaking about had to learn how to fall this whole season.
Would he take karate? Did somebody say he took karate to learn how to fall? How
do
you learn how to fall? You're a professional athlete. You played football all the way from high school, Pop Warner High School, college. Now you get to the pros and you're trying to learn how to fall. What kind of foolishness is that?
Even in all the martial arts and stuff that he's taken, you're not trying to take a fall. You're trying to kick somebody's ass.
Yeah, I was going to say, and how do you learn how to fall by taking martial arts? I thought you kicking people and learning how to defend yourself on your feet, not on the ground.
I know. That's why when they say you're trying to learn how to fall, I was like,
boy, I tell you what, I would have never released that unless somebody knew that. But I believe if Tua's still playing, and that's going to be a big question mark this year. If those two cats he's got for receivers, man, Tyreek Hill and Waddle.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys, man, they're the best two in the league.
They are fast and they catch.
And it's going to be a problem for us. We're going to have a problem with them. We got to get to the quarterback. We're going to have a problem. It's going to be a problem.
It's going to be
because listen, Bradbury can't cover either one of them one-on-one. And I don't care how many big plays Slay makes. Can't cover either one of those cats.
Well,
neither one of them can cover the other one.
You don't put them one-on-one.
No, they won't be one-on-one. With a whole lot of zone.
You zone and you zone.
It's going to have to be a whole lot of zone.
You zone and you mirror them and you make sure that somebody just put up something. The Pittsburgh Steelers and Aaron Donald makes sense to some and doesn't to others.
That's because Vinny is he's a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. That's Island Smoothies right there in Salads. That's Vinny Capriati. He's a Steelers fan and he wants Aaron Donald.
They were talking about it. They were
he wants him. Yeah, he wants him on the Steelers.
Yeah, but he went to the University of Pitt, so that would be a likely move for them. Because I did hear when I heard them talking about a trade, he was
right, and that's why Vinny's saying it makes a whole lot of sense.
It doesn't make but it's I don't know.
We'll see.
That would bolster them though.
Yeah, no, anywhere he goes, he'll bolster them.
Big time.
He'll make anywhere he goes, he's going to make that defense better, which makes the team better. So after Buffalo, and they get the behinds whoop, they play Washington at home, the Giants. I believe they'll win that game just because they will have just gotten their behinds whooped a couple of times.
But if Saquon Barkley's not back, like if he chooses to sit out,
well, if Saquon Barkley doesn't come back and he's not playing, they're not going to win too many games. Right. They're going to have a losing season. If Saquon Barkley with this schedule and they don't have Saquon Barkley,
right,
they're not going to have a winning season. So they need to get that whole situation resolved and do it at ASAP.
They can't do anything about it because the time has passed for negotiation.
Right.
They're just hoping that he comes. He hasn't signed a tender, so he doesn't have to come to training camp.
Right. No,
and they can't start. I forgot at what point they can start finding him. I was like, but
he's under contract.
No, he's not.
He doesn't have a contract.
No,
he's a free agent right now.
He's a free agent, but they
he doesn't have to come then.
Yeah, because
he can go somewhere else.
No, he can't go nowhere else because if he goes somewhere else, somebody has to give up 2 first-round draft picks.
Okay, all right.
So because they franchise tagged him, you don't have to sign the tag.
Oh, okay. So I got you now. Yeah. I wasn't following you, and I wasn't following that whole situation. I didn't know they franchised him.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah. So he has a certain amount of money that they're willing to pay him, which is the franchise tag. He just doesn't want that.
Well,
he can come back. He can come back as with the franchise tag.
Yeah,
he can come back anytime under the franchise tag.
The franchise tag is almost triple less than a quarterback who you're carrying makes.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean that's on Saquon.
It's on the organization. They should have made. See, we shouldn't even. This is something we shouldn't even be talking about. The fact that he's 50 to 65% of the offense should alone let you know that your quarterback, the quarterback that you gave all that cheese to, he's nothing without the guy that you're not signing yet.
But that's how the league and teams are looking at running backs now.
Yeah, but that's not how your offense is rolling.
Right. No, I know that, but for whatever reason, they are thinking something that we're not considering. There's something on their minds that either we don't know about, we don't understand, or it's just plain old foolish.
You can't be looking at your woman in her face talking about "I love you" and you going to the strip club.
Is that what you do?
That's what they're doing to Saquon.
Right.
I love you, but I just like them. I love you, but I like them.
We'll see what happens. They franchise him,
but they can't.
I think they're looking at the franchise maybe, and I'm not into all of that stuff with contracts and all that kind of junk.
I am like just letting you know.
Yeah, I know, and that's why you're on the show. You let me know what's going on.
Okay, so real quickly.
But they did franchise him, so they didn't just let him go. They did franchise him.
Yeah, but franchises him, and then negotiations ended at 4:00 on Tuesday. where they could do anything. And so now they're in a bit of purgatory because you couldn't come up with nothing that would even like make him come.
But also that plays on both sides too, man. You know, you don't know. We don't know what Saquon's people were asking for. You know, it plays on both sides. There's got to be some compromise on both sides.
There does have to be.
That's why they call it negotiations. There's got to be compromise on both sides. Yeah, we got to meet somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, but if you're lowballing me and you pay me way less than the guy who I'm about to carry.
But do you know what they're offering? You know, they may have franchised him just to start the negotiations.
I think they offered him like a contract where he's making him make like 12 or 13 a year.
Okay. And that's not good.
It's not feasible. It's not feasible when you're paying a quarterback.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. It's not good in comparison to the quarterback and other running backs.
If he was an elite quarterback, I'm pretty sure that he wouldn't have a problem. If the quarterback could win without Saquon, what we're talking about now would not be an issue. The quarterback cannot win without Saquon, their quarterback anyway.
Well, we're going to find out for sure.
Well, we already know.
we're going to find out.
We already know.
So let's go next. So Washington at home. At home, they're going to beat Washington.
Right.
Then they have the Jets at home.
They're going to lose that one. Yeah,
they'll lose that game. That's going to be the New York home game too. Then they're at the Raiders. Wow. I don't know. That's going to be a tough one.
That's going to be interesting.
It's the Giants. I think the Raiders might get them just for the simple fact.
I don't think so because I think Darren Waller is going to be looking for some retribution. Okay. And I think that the Giants, they have a good defense, a really good defense.
Okay.
But the thing is like their offense sometimes sputters, and that's when they don't have Saquon, and they have to rely on Daniel.
And the way it looks now, they might not have Saquon. Then they're at Dallas. They'll lose that game.
Yeah,
they come from Las Vegas. They come to Dallas at Dallas.
Yeah.
Then they're at Washington.
That's going to be a battle royal because they fight tooth and nail.
Yes, they did.
And they won to get to the playoff spot.
Yep,
they won.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be a little retribution there in this late in the season. I don't know.
I'm going to take Washington.
That's because you play for them.
No, okay.
I'm taking Giants. I'm taking the Giants because they gave me a couple of first class tickets and a bunch of per diem to come and visit them.
Then they got New England at home. They're home in New England.
New England's going to throttle them. I think New England's going to throttle them.
Okay, well I'll go with that. Then they have Green Bay at home. I think they'll beat Green Bay.
Yeah, because I think didn't Green Bay come back and pull out last year they pulled out one on them.
I don't remember that.
I want to say it was in London.
Oh, okay, it was overseas.
I think so.
I don't remember that.
I have to look that one up.
So you think they're going to remember that and they're going to beat Green Bay because Green Bay beat them in London?
Yeah, but they pulled it out like at the end, and they actually, you know what?
They're going to beat Green Bay.
Yeah, they're going to beat Green Bay because they beat Green Bay over there in that game. Because that was a shocker. Because we thought Green Bay was going to kick their ass with Aaron Rodgers.
We got a couple more games and we're done. Then they're at New Orleans.
New Orleans win that one.
You think so? I think New Orleans is upside down, man. They got so much stuff going on and so many changes happening.
They don't have that many changes. they brought Derek Carr in to solidify the quarterback position, and that's pretty much all they needed. Their defense be kicking ass and taking names. We saw that firsthand. Remember?
Yes, we did.
Yeah. They defense came in throttle.
I'm going to say they'll beat New Orleans though.
I think New Orleans is going to beat them.
Then they come to Philly and we'll beat their behinds.
Yeah, we're gonna whoop them like cornbread.
Then they have the Rams at home. I think they'll beat the Rams just because late in the season.
Late in the season, they may have playoff implications. So,
and then they play the Eagles at home. That's the last game of the season. We may not need to win that game,
but I think we still will. Just because you remember last year we didn't need to win it either, and we still throttled them.
Yeah, and they were they were in trying to win games to get to the playoffs. So yeah. So yeah.
Yep.
All right, that's it. We're done.
It. Yeah.
That's the schedule. We didn't go through Washington.
Yeah, we didn't go through Washington.
But they're going to be in last place. So I pick the Philadelphia Eagles to win the NFC East. Dallas will be in second place. Giants will be in third place. And Washington will be in last place, just like it was last year.
Okay, yeah, probably.
Is that the way you see it?
But I think Washington is going to leapfrog the Cowboys.
So you think Washington's going to be second in the NFC?
I think it's going to be us, then Washington, and then either the Giants or the Cowboys.
Wow. Okay. Well, I have Eagles, Dallas, Giants, Washington.
Yes.
That's the way that's not what you said, though.
I know.
You said Eagles, Washington, Giants. Dallas is going to be last in the NFC East.
More than likely, because I don't trust McCarthy.
I don't even care for him as a coach.
Yeah, he's kind of weird.
Yeah. All right, that's it.
Okay.
We've talked enough. We've spit out enough knowledge for today. Y'all can't handle too much more of this. And you heard it right here on A2D Radio. Listen, this is Vetted with Irving Fryar and Hollis Thomas. Or other one, Hollis Thomas over there. Yeah. I'm Irving. That's Hollis. We'll be back next week, every Thursday, 5 p.m. right here on A2D Radio. See y'all next week. Take care.